Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Schuylkill Banks. My name is Joe SYRNICK. I'm with the Schuylkill River Development Corporation. We're a small nonprofit working with the city to construct and maintain the Schuylkill River Trail. Heather is over there. She's my colleague. And my job today is to welcome you on behalf of the Schuylkill River Development Corporation and Philadelphia Parks and Rec to the Grays Ferry Crescent for this press event. We deal with a lot of state agencies, but I have to tell you that Pennsylvania Fish and Boat and PennDOT are two of our favorite ones. Fish and Boat for the last 15 years has been a partner with us and other city agencies to operate our annual Fish Fest, which is a fishing contest for families. It's our favorite event for the whole year. That happens upriver a little bit. But last year they started to have weekly fishing meetups where they would come down on one evening a week and they would basically teach the city folk how to fish. It's a tough job, but that turned out to be a very, very popular activity, a very popular event, and this was one of the places where we had that. So Fish and Boat, we greatly appreciate your partnership with us. PennDOT, for its part, has been strong supporters of our capital programs. If you look over here, this is a swing bridge being under construction. It's going to take an old, abandoned railroad swing bridge and repurpose it into a trail crossing across the river. That's, of course, obviously currently under construction and should be, if we came here this time next year, you'd be able to ride a bike across that bridge. If you look across the water and behind those trees, and it's hard to see it this time of year, there's a 1-mile trail called the Bartram's Mile. PennDOT had significant funding in that project also. So we really appreciate PennDOT's support capital-wise. And we were so pleased when Fish and Boat came to us, reached out to us for a venue for this event. And we hope that you feel very comfortable here. You certainly should. So it's now my great pleasure to introduce to you Tim Schaeffer, the Executive Director of Pennsylvania Fish and Boat.
Great, well thanks Joe. Before I take my mask off, I don't know if you can see, it's a image of a life jacket that says wear it. So even we got our masks up, we can get the message out. So good morning everybody, my name is Tim Schaeffer. I'm the Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission. And thanks Joe for the warm welcome and for hosting us at the gorgeous Schuylkill Banks here in Philadelphia. As an agency, we have a history of partnering with groups just like yours to provide fishing programs here and elsewhere in Pennsylvania. And we do look forward to working with you more in the future. Can't wait to get back to the point where we can be doing programs here on a more regular basis. This property is a prime example of how Pennsylvania's urban areas can offer some of the most unique fishing and boating opportunities around. Helping to develop more public access and education programs at places like this is a major goal for the agency. Of course, the reason we're here today is because the Independence Day weekend is almost upon us. While boating can be enjoyed year-round in many parts of Pennsylvania, 4th of July truly is the heart of the season. Whether it's on the Schuylkill or the Delaware, or one of the many scenic lakes and rivers and streams just a short drive from the city, we can expect to see large numbers of anglers and boaters enjoying the holiday here in the Philadelphia region. We love seeing everybody having a great time with their family and friends on the water, particularly around the holiday, but we also want to make sure that people are remaining safe and making smart decisions. And again, safety is why we're here today. I'll begin with the number one thing that we tell people when you're setting off on any boating adventure. Wear your life jacket. Again, please wear your life jacket. Law requires that you have a life jacket on board for every person on your boat. Children ages 12 and under must always wear a life jacket when aboard a boat less than 20 feet in length, including all canoes and kayaks and paddle boards. I have twin boys who are 16 and they are always wearing their life jackets, I'm happy to say. In 2019, we had 57 recreational boating accidents in Pennsylvania that resulted in 8 fatalities. 7 of the 8 victims in 2019 were not wearing their life jacket at the time of the mishap. According to our boating safety records, about 80% of the fatalities every year as a result of people not wearing their life jacket. The life jackets must be U.S. Coast Guard approved and fit the individual, including children and infants, properly. Gone are the days of the big orange things that would come up over your heads. You like them to fit nice and snug, so they're there and can keep real tight to your body when you're in the water. If you hear those statistics and think that that could never happen to me, please think again. Just 6 days ago, we recorded our 6th boating fatality of 2020. 4 of the 6 victims in the accidents have been paddlers, 2 capsized from their canoes, and 2 others involved kayaks. In April, a 37-year-old man kayaking on the Delaware River in Bucks County capsized. He was not wearing a life jacket. Less than a week ago, a 24-year-old victim lost his life when he capsized in a kayak on the Susquehanna River in Columbia County. We're continuing our investigation, but we do know 2 things: that the victim was not wearing a life jacket, nor was anybody else with him on the water that day wearing the life jacket as required by, or even have a life jacket with them as required by law. In another case, we had a 56-year-old kayaker in Armstrong County in western Pennsylvania had a sudden cardiac arrest while paddling on a small pond. Again, not wearing a life jacket. If you had a life jacket on, perhaps could have stayed afloat long enough for help to come. None of the 6 people who tragically lost their lives boating in Pennsylvania so far this year were wearing their life jacket. Those are the kind of stories we're trying to prevent by being here today. It's no secret that in the wake of COVID-19, more Pennsylvanians than ever are getting outdoors and either rediscovering or discovering for the first time their love for fishing and boating. As an agency, we have seen a dramatic increase in the number of launch permits being sold this year, and many sporting goods have reported being sold out of kayaks for weeks at a time due to the high demand. While these might be viewed as good problems to have, we can also conclude that there are many first-time paddlers sharing the waters with us this summer. As a boating community, it's up to all of us to share reminders with each other when we're on the water about safety, basic safety measures to follow. Don't hesitate to speak up if you see somebody doing something they shouldn't be doing, or if they're not being as safe as they should. For more information about basic boating, including where you can take a basic boating course, you can go to our website at fishandboat.com, or we have a really helpful mobile app, which is Fish Boat PA, spelled just like it sounds. You can go there to get your fishing licenses, launch permits, renew your boat registration, and get lots of really helpful safety tips. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to our local Waterways Conservation Officer, Ron EVANCHO, who's going to give you some additional tips for being safe in the water this weekend and all summer long. Ron?
Thank you, Director Schaeffer. Good morning, everyone. From fishermen on bass boats, kayakers enjoying a paddle, pontoon boat operators, jet skiers, and power boaters pulling a wakeboard, the water belongs to all of us to enjoy, and that includes me. While officers don't set out every day with the goal of busting up a good time, it is our responsibility to make sure everyone remains safe. Please, never boat under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Simply put, boating while impaired increases the chance for an accident. Just like operating a motor vehicle on the roadway, in Pennsylvania, a person operating a boat is over the legal limit if he or she has a blood alcohol concentration of 0.08% or greater. Alcohol affects balance, coordination, and judgment. BUI penalties include loss of boating privileges, significant fines, and possible imprisonment. This holiday weekend from July 3rd through July 5th, the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission will participate in Operation Dry Water. This nationally coordinated effort aims to prevent boating accidents and fatalities through education and enhanced BUI enforcement. If you plan to drink as part of your holiday celebration on the water, please choose a designated operator. Please note that alcohol is prohibited on all Fish and Boat Commission lakes, as well as all Pennsylvania state parks. Another basic safety measure you can take this summer is to have a float plan. Send a text or write a note to let someone know where you are planning to boat and when you expect to return. Plans can change when you're having fun, but keeping someone aware of your location throughout the day can ensure that help arrives quickly if you experience a mechanical or medical emergency while on the water. Carrying a dry bag in which to keep your cell phone and other valuables while boating Map out where you'll be putting in and taking out. Be aware of any dams along your water trail and pay attention to posted warnings along the way. And be sure to check the weather forecast. Summer's fast-moving storms can cause water levels to rise quickly and become dangerous. High water conditions can affect visibility and hide submerged obstacles such as logs and rocks that can cause you to capsize. As we prepare for one of the busiest boating weekends of the summer, I look forward to sharing the water with you. Please boat safely. Now I'll hand things over to our friends at PennDOT. Robyn Briggs is the Safety Press Officer for Engineering District 6. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for coming out today to help us spread the message of driving and boating safely on July 4th. I'm Robyn Briggs. I'm the Safety Press Officer for PennDOT's District 6. I'm here on behalf of Governor Tom Wolf and Secretary Yasmin Garment. I'm happy that we were able to be here today with PA Boat and Fish Commission and Schuylkill Banks AAA. Thank you, Schuylkill Banks, for having us here today. July 4th this year may not look the same as other years that we're used to, but we know traffic volumes have been rising in the counties surrounding Philadelphia. For an example of that, we have numbers since June 17th, and traffic is still at a 27% reduction, but that is rising because in the beginning of May we were at a 50% reduction. So traffic volumes are definitely rising. People are probably going to be excited for this weekend. The counties in Philadelphia area, as you know, have moved to green last Friday, so people are starting to get out and about. With the excitement of the holiday, we know we're venturing out more, and you might be thinking you're going to enjoy some drinks with friends this weekend and so forth. We are urging you, though, if you do that, we know everyone's trying to be together. We hope you're also responsibly doing that, social distancing, wearing your mask. But please do not get behind a car while impaired. According to PennDOT data, in 2019, from June 28th to July 7th, there were 2,917 crashes, and we had 40 fatalities. Of those 2,000 and some crashes, 334 involved an impaired driver, and 18 of those that involved the impaired driver were fatalities. Those are 18 lives that will never be with their friends or family again, and they will not be with them this July 4th. So please, impaired driving is 100% preventable. Never drive impaired. Take the keys away from your friend if you see that they're leaving. If you're hanging out with them, it's okay. It's better you be a good loved one. Take the keys away from them. If you know you're going to be out drinking, have a designated sober driver. Plan ahead. And also, you can use a ride-share app. Slow down, and as always, buckle up. COVID-19 is still here, and hospitals definitely do not need added stress because of accidents, crashes, I'm sorry, we call them crashes, that could have been preventable. We don't need that added stress right now. So it's a different mind thought you have to get yourself in, that we have to deal with COVID right now, so I'm going to try to be a safer driver and try to be safe on other ends in that regards. COVID-19 has also brought extra cautions for transportation safety. We hope you follow these guidelines if you are traveling this summer and the holiday weekend. If you need to use a ride-share app or public transportation, always check the company's website if you're able to see what their protocols are for COVID-19. Keep a mask and hand sanitizer in your car at all times. If you're not feeling well, stay home. When outside walking, biking, or even boating, be mindful to stay 6 feet apart from others that are not in your household, and to protect each other. If you're not able to social distance outside, wear a mask. July 6th also kicks off the Aggressive Driving Enforcement and Education Project. That's when police forces run enforcement to educate the public on safety initiatives. There's a big focus this year on pedestrian safety. Whether Whether you've been venturing out more because of COVID and taking more walks, or if being a pedestrian is part of your everyday life, motorists have to continue to watch out for pedestrians. Motorists should slow down when approaching a crosswalk or intersection, watch for pedestrians, and be prepared to yield for them. And no red light running, because you don't know if a pedestrian might be crossing and you're about to run the red light, you could be risking someone's life. The law requires motorists to yield to pedestrians in crosswalks at signalized and non-signalized intersections. Watch for mid-block crosswalks. Pedestrians have the right-of-way in mid-block crosswalks, so yield to them. And expect the unexpected. Look out for children who may dart out, or pets. And keep in mind of buses and cross mid-block without a crosswalk. That's it. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is JANA TIDWELL, Manager of Public and Government Affairs for AAA Mid-Atlantic. And AAA is pleased to be here in conjunction with our traffic safety partners here today to primarily combat impaired driving and impaired boating, especially over the holiday weekend. As we approach the second holiday weekend of summer, AAA reminds motorists and boaters that impaired driving and impaired boating is 100% preventable. Though travel volume will not look like a typical summer holiday weekend this year, cabin fever and pent-up demand will undoubtedly lead locals to take to the roadways and the waterways to celebrate, which is why AAA urges all holiday travelers to enjoy the holiday weekend safely. Of those who are likely to travel this summer, 97% of people will choose to go by car. This unfortunately increased the risks of impaired driving. Alcohol and drug impaired drivers are a serious threat to all road users, as far too many motorists continue to operate vehicles while under the influence of alcohol and/or drugs, whether prescription or illegal, resulting in unnecessary crashes and, even worse, fatalities. Impaired boating can have similar consequences. In its annual Traffic Safety Culture Index report, the AAA Foundation for Traffic Safety revealed that nearly all drivers, 94%, view drinking and driving as a serious danger on our roadways. However, more than 10% of those said that they had done so in the last 30 days. When it comes to drugged driving, 88% of motorists view that as a serious threat on our roadways, which is much higher than just 4 years ago. Drugged driving, unfortunately, is quickly becoming, and somewhat quietly, surpassing drunk driving as a major highway threat. AAA reminds all motorists and boaters to read the warning labels on all medication, prescription or over-the-counter. Never mix prescription medications or other drugs with alcohol, and plan ahead for a safe ride home if you plan to indulge in alcohol this holiday weekend. Once impaired, drivers and boaters are incapable of safely operating a motor vehicle or a boat and become a serious threat on our roadways and waterways. Everyone, whether on land or sea, should think twice about engaging in these behaviors that put not only themselves but others at risk. Again, alcohol and drug-impaired driving and boating are 100% preventable. Don't be that person. Celebrate summer safely. Thank you.
Well, thank you to all of our partners who joined us here today. Thank you to the Schuylkill Banks for hosting us for this event. Again, we're here for one reason, is to make your holiday weekend safer. If you're going to go out boating, have a plan. Let someone know where you're going to be. Let them know when you're going to come back. If you're going to be drinking, please make sure you have a designated operator of the boat so they can return you home safely to your family. And then the biggest thing of all, wear your life jacket. Please, please, please wear your life jacket when you're on the water this weekend and all summer long. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions, and any of the folks here would be happy to answer any questions.
How do you guys say you're going to be enforcing the boating laws
Yeah.
with drinking, driving a boat?
Sure.
How does that work, just so that people know how serious this is? How
Yeah.
do you deal with that? What are the fines?
Yeah, that's a
and-
great question. So Ron, we have about 100 waterways conservation officers across Pennsylvania, the Fish and Boat Commission does, and we're partnering this weekend with law enforcement across the country in what's called Operation Dry Water to drive home the dangers of impaired boating and with enhanced enforcement. So Ron, if you could just explain what that is and the partnership we'll have here in the Philadelphia region.
Thank you, Tim. Sorry. No, yes, we've actually got a real coordinated effort that's going on currently with the U.S. Coast Guard, Sector Delaware Bay, which is located in the city of Philadelphia. Their staff and I have been working very close, as well as staff from the New Jersey State Police Marine Unit, to be able to coordinate the effort from all the way up the Delaware River from the Trenton Falls area all the way down into the state of Delaware. I didn't hear your full question earlier as far as...
Well, how does it work? I mean, do you board the boat, do a test, and what happens if they test positive that they're intoxicated behind the wheel?
Yeah, if we do pull a boat over, it's usually it's for a reason. We have a good reason to pull it over. You could have an expired validation decal that causes us to come over to your boat and find out if maybe you just sent it in late. There may be a wake zone violation. There may be an unsafe act that one of our officers visually observe. We'll be working with the Coast Guard on that as well. If they see something and they feel that it's something that's wants to bring us over to get involved, we will. Pursuant to the stop, we usually conduct a safety inspection on every vessel to ensure that there is a wearable life jacket for each person on board. We'll also find out the operator's information. If for some reason we are led to believe that the operator is operating under the influence of alcohol or drugs, then we may decide to go ahead and place that person through a battery of seated field sobriety tests. After that, they may be asked to blow into a pre-breath test unit, and if we determine that there's enough there that we feel that that person is intoxicated to a level that prevents them from safe boating, then we will place them under arrest and process them. Thank you.
And I'd encourage everyone who's here, if you do see one of our officers, whether on the water or along the banks of a river or stream, stop by, ask questions. We're here to help you. We want you to have a good time, but we want you to do so safely. All righty. Well, if nothing else, thanks for coming out and have a great weekend.